More bad news for Drake because he's in the middle of drama yet again that's accusing him of engaging in sensitive beta male activities. And the worst part about it all, it may not entirely be Drake's fault. He just may be the fall guy at this point. The source of this newfound turmoil in Drake's life is a man who's been responsible for a lot of other turmoils in Drake's life, and that's Pusha T. So Pusha T recently did a GQ interview where he alluded to Drake pulling some strings and engaging in some really feminine beta male activities, if this is true. But from how he told the story, it really looks like Drake probably ain't had nothing to do with it. But people are still assigning blame to Drake, and Drake is still getting backlash for this. Pusha T has a Clips album dropping. Now, the album was supposed to drop last summer. He's explaining why it hasn't dropped yet. He's blaming Def Jam because apparently the label loved what they heard when they listened to the album, except for the song he has with Kendrick Lamar, and they didn't like Kendrick Lamar's verse. Apparently, the song is called Chains and Whips, which is so Kendrick Lamar and so Pusha T. This is like the most stereotypical song title I think I've ever heard. But Pusha was saying that because of the rap beef between Kendrick and Drake, Def Jam or the parent company UMG didn't want to risk this song coming out and antagonizing Drake. So apparently, after the summer beef, the article says, between the two biggest artists that resulted in a still ongoing lawsuit from Drake, Def Jam's parent company UMG blanched at the antagonistic optics of two of Drake's biggest enemies linking on wax. Pusha calls their apprehension stupid, primarily because none of the bars in Kendrick's otherwise excellent verse could really be perceived as a shot or even a subliminal. Now, I'm not sure if I'm buying this, not one bit. A song with Kendrick Lamar and Pusha T called Whips and Chains ain't dissing Drake. Cut it out, bro. I'm not buying that at all. But apparently, the only line the public has heard due to the snippet that's played at Pharrell's fashion show is therapy taught me how to open up. It also showed me I don't give a F. Which to me is a little odd because people has been telling us for months that Drake lawsuit against UMG is hogwash, that UMG is spanking Drake in court. Drake is just wasting time and money. But it seems like UMG is at least somewhat worried about this lawsuit because they're taking proactive steps not to get themselves, in the crosshair any longer. Now, what I would say though is this could also be a sign that UMG don't really dislike Drake, right? That UMG thought that Drake probably got too big for his bridges, that Drake started asking for 800 million and $1 billion for a record label or a record deal. And they like, bro, we gotta humble you a little bit. But they still interested in retaining Drake. Like, this is like any business, bro. Like, they're not about to just, Drake, you can walk off the label, bro. Let's do everything in our power to make sure that after this deal is done, Drake is leaving our label. I don't think like UMG has gotten to that point yet, bro, to where they want Drake to just walk away from their label once the deal is done. They're still interested in probably salvaging this relationship. It's easy to get blinded that Kendrick Lamar has the #1 song on Billboard right now for about 22 weeks with Luther, but you don't ignore that Drake has had a consistent top 5 record in the last month or two with Nokia. So Drake is still a very major artist that UMG don't just want to lose like that. So they just won't just co-sign or sign off on any and everything that's going to piss off Drake, especially if it's at the risk of losing Pusha T. Man, you could walk. And apparently that right there became like the talks. Because once UMG made it perfectly clear, we're not signing this, like signing off for this. We're not releasing that album, bro. As a matter of fact, man, if you keep pushing, we going to drop clips. Def Jam / UMG asked Pusha T to ask them to censor Kendrick Lamar's verse, which of course Pusha T says was something that he was never doing. And then they wanted me to take the record off. And so after a month of not doing it, Steve Gawley, the lawyer over there, was like, we'll just drop the clips. But that can't work because Pusha T is still a solo artist. So then they said, okay, we'll just let y'all go. Both of y'all go. But apparently you have to buy yourself out if we're letting y'all go. So sure enough, Def Jam eventually agreed to release the clips and drop Pusha as a solo artist, freeing the duo up to shop for a new home with a finished clips album and plenty more music in their pockets. Ultimately, Pusha T says the endeavor was gratifying. It felt good to even see how other labels were buying for the project. Now, as they teased last week with a picture in front of the labels plain insignia, they've ended up, of course, bruh. To me, this is probably like the most predictable move. Guess who they signed to, bro? Drake Big is up. All right, they signed to Jay-Z Rock Nation, where they feel fully supported and energized. Bruh, ain't nothing more gonna make you feel more energized than bringing something that could contribute to Drake's downfall to Jay-Z. All right. So they're officially off the label, and Pusha T apparently paid 7 figures to get out the label. I'm sure Rock Nation paid that 7 figures on behalf of Pusha T in the clips. From everything I've heard, it sounds like UMG is concerned about this Drake lawsuit. Is concerned that they don't want to give Drake more leverage. So now they're doing something that I guess Drake is suing them for not doing, which is not stopping Not Like Us from dropping, because Drake is saying that UMG allowed a record to drop that slandered them. UMG is probably more concerned with like Pusha T and dot link it up. But now some is saying that to think that Drake isn't involved in this decision whatsoever is dense. To think that Drake is looking at his two biggest op linking up for a record and Drake didn't make a call is dense. I don't know, bro. Drake tried to make a call with Kendrick. It didn't work. He's suing. Do I feel like Drake is still contacting UMG to get involved? While suing them, I don't know. Now, the bigger picture with DJ Head and Elliott Wilson, they touched on this, okay? They spoke on the issue of Drake and UMG reaching out to have the Kendrick verse taken off. Now, if Pusha T was going to be the only one to document this, I would have said Pusha T is a effing liar because Pusha T has used Drake for his rollout over the last, I don't know, like 3 rollouts. But because the bigger picture at DJ Head is confirming it, I'm going to give it credibility. So let's review what they had to say about it. Apparently, DJ Head has had this information for a couple of months now.
I will say this. I have a source.
Love it. Journalism.
And so according to my intel, this is the boy's second time doing this to Pusha. There was a Pop Smoke thing.
Yeah.
Which I think Steven Victor talked about.
I will claim that from his sources that this is a Drake doing. That this is Drake who personally made the call in to stop Pusha T from having that Kendrick Lamar verse. Now, with the whole Pop Smoke thing, I think Young Thug made a statement regarding the Pop Smoke and Pusha T not being on the record. Apparently, Pusha T is who got Young Thug on the record. Then once Young Thug got on the record, Young Thug didn't want the Pusha T verse on it. Now, Young Thug came out and said, bro, I didn't want you on it because your verse was weak. It was 7 days weak. But Young Thug obviously has a unwavering allegiance to Drake. So maybe Young Thug did get Pusha T taken off because of Drake. But nonetheless, though, with this situation, UMG is making a call. UMG and Drake aren't even on good terms right now. So unless you have information where, we know for a fact Drake made that call and there's proof Drake made the call, I feel like it's unfair to put it on Drake at this moment in time because right now it could just be UMG making that call. So now Head is claiming he has sources. I don't doubt it because Head to me is a seasoned journalist. I don't think Head is just commenting on Twitter just to lie. I feel like Head has more respect for his own credibility than that. But right now, it just feels like, bro, UMG want that Kendrick verse off. Come on, bro. Who you think? I think it's one of those. It don't feel like, we have documented proof and fact that Drake is involved.
Yeah, that's public.
But yeah, that to my knowledge, that is true. While all of this was going on, they requested the lyrics because they thought that it was going to be a continuation of what was going on last year on the record, and two of the main characters clicking up and doing whatever the case may be. It's just a lot of main character syndrome going on. It's like, bro, everything ain't about you. You know what I'm saying? And so and if you remember, I'm the one who told y'all there was a record, and we started the free Camila Cabello campaign.
I love that campaign.
She's free.
She's free. She got to release her record and whatnot. Salute to that queen.
But saluting that queen. Still saluting that queen.
There was a lot going on, and it's just, to me, it just reeks of like
entitlement.
Just like My homie, my shout out to my Jamaican homie. They call it what they call them, Bati boys. What does
Oh
that mean?
Lord. Oh shit.
What does that mean?
I'm not going to be the one to even jump in. I need to call Chet Hanks, get him on the phone. I think
What
he
does
might
that mean though?
know about this.
Chet X will really break it down.
I don't know what that means. I'm
It's
literally
kind of
asking.
like what Pusha said to Kanye in the article that he doesn't look at him as a man. That kind of way.
Oh,
I think that's the
it's
way to look
just
at it.
it's unbecoming behavior.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not man. It's not a man like behavior of like
yeah, and
what
so
men
to
do.
me,
Yeah.
um, for like okay, the Clips album was supposed to come out. Not it was supposed to come out. It was also the Clips album was supposed to
Last year.
it was
Yeah.
supposed to be out, yeah. And I guess there was an intent to hold that up because of the verse and the quote unquote click up. But it's like, bro, the verse been done.
No, but
And
it's insane that it wasn't. It did happen. It was this ultimate holdup, and it didn't go out to the masses, and there's a secret thing going on, at least enough that no one went on the record and said it. But it's in. I mean, I get the part you're saying, like the lyrics, pop smoke thing, or even the Maybach music. I think they wanted that verse changed, but it's a difference of like we literally not going to put this album out unless you change Kendrick, another fellow biggest rapper's
okay.
verse. Like that's insane. And then the even get thing of like, well, we'll just get you off the label. You can buy yourself out. It's like it's that extreme. Like that's insane. You know?
That's why I'm not completely convinced that A, Drake is not involved in getting that record taken down, and B, there was not any Drake disses on that record. Now, maybe it was a subliminal or something that could be taken as a diss, but it's I'm having a hard time believing that Def Jam or UMG is about to get a Clips album that's gonna have a Kendrick Lamar verse on it. Kendrick Lamar, one of the hottest, if not the hottest rapper right now, on an album that you're about to release and profit from. For them to get that verse taken off or to want that verse taken off is obviously something they see as antagonistic. Something about that verse is making them think if this verse drops, we're going to be culpable of whatever happens afterwards. And the reason why I'm not like letting Drake off the hook just yet, even though we really haven't heard anything to make us believe that Drake is involved, because if Drake was okay with this record coming out, the record would be out. Like, if Drake didn't care, if Drake didn't mind this record coming out, I think it would be out. Because for God's sake, it's a Kendrick Lamar verse. Like, Kendrick Lamar verse right now is worth more than gold. A Kendrick Lamar verse right now for any rapper or rap album is worth like infinite infinity stones. So for a record label to say we're not putting this out, it has to be either the verse that he was about to drop on that Clips album, that verse was antagonistic and had disses on it. And they ain't want to antagonize further conflict, especially in the middle of this lawsuit with Drake and UMG. Or Drake made that call in. Because if Drake would have co-signed on like on that record or told them, hey, bro, I don't care about this record, bro. Stop including me in your nonsense. I feel like the record would be out. For a record label to deny a Kendrick Lamar verse in this climate, it had to be something very severe and very serious. No record label is just getting rid of a Kendrick Lamar verse just for the sake of it. So that's the only reason why I'm even entertaining the idea of DJ Head that Drake was involved or that Drake thought that them linking up was about him. Because why would a record label, for no reason as it appears, right? Because Pusha T is saying nothing on that Kendrick Lamar verse was about Drake. So why would a record label just, for no apparent reason, not want a verse right now that's probably worth the most in hip hop, which is Kendrick Lamar's verse? Let me know in the comment section. What do you guys think, man? If this is true, I think it's a very bad look for Drake. Because at the end of the day, man, you still have a duty to hip hop. And your duty to hip hop is to push it forward. And one way to push hip hop forward is to have a Clips album that does well, and to also have a Kendrick Lamar and Clips verse. So if you're Drake and you know suing UMG is one thing, but if you're now getting in the way of hip hop being great, if you're now getting in the way of history being made, to me that's something that I can't co-sign. That's something I feel like nobody should co-sign, and that's weak. But right now, we have no proof that Drake is involved. It feels like UMG did all the reaching out. So y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think? Do y'all feel like Drake is involved some way, somehow? Let me know, man, because I'm still thinking, bro. Drake, this just it doesn't make sense, and it feels like Drake has his hand on it. But right now, is he just is reasonable doubt. He ain't get involved that much to where there's digital footprints, you know? Let me know what you guys think, all right? And if you're still watching, click on this video right here somewhere on my screen to find out how this Diddy trial just restarted a new war between Ja Rule and 50 Cent. I'm gonna see you guys in this video somewhere on my screen. Out of here, folks. Peace.